Welcome back everyone, this is MandoAllDay, back with another video, and in this video, I'll be doing an overview of Batman Detective Comics, Gotham Nocturne Overture, the hardcover. I'll be talking about a little bit of the story, the art, and of course, if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to now support the channel, but to keep up to date on watch videos like this. So let's take a look at front of the dust jacket, the spine, the back, and I'll show you a full spread image of the dust jacket. Sorry for the glare. Front of the book, the spine, the back, and I'll show you a full spread image of the book itself, which is pretty cool art. Alright, now let's take a look at what's inside. So, what is this book about? So the book starts off with Batman fighting off against this possessed body, as you can say. And Batman's fighting this possessed body, and eventually this possessed body turns into dust. And then find out that Talia warns Batman of a threat that's coming to Gotham. So basically she warns him like, hey, be careful. Something's going to happen with Gotham. Something really serious and huge, I guess you can say. It's going to happen to Gotham, so be warned. After the incident, Batman notices something is off. Something's wrong with him. Because what starts happening is he's actually not himself in terms of him being Batman. So for instance, he feels like he's a little slow. He's not 100% accurate. Actually, there's one part of the story, or book I should say, to where he times himself. Like, okay, I have like 20 seconds to complete this mission, and he's actually short 2 seconds, or he's over. So something is off. He notices something is wrong with him. So he gets diagnostics on himself, and no issues found. Everything is fine. He's healthy. Yeah, there's some fractured bones and so forth, but for the most part, though, he's perfectly fine. The story progresses, and Batman starts getting haunted by this demon-like creature, I guess you can say, warning him about the upcoming something. I don't want to say because I'll spoil it. While all this is happening, there's a group of individuals who arrive at Gotham to reclaim what's theirs. And that's basically the gist of the story. I can't say too much because it's a very short book. It only has like 4 issues. Granted, they're a little bit longer than a normal issue, but there are 4 issues only. And plus, it does include like a short story with Commissioner Gordon, which I won't talk about because there's only 3 issues and it's very, very short. But overall, though, I gotta say this book itself, it's a mixed bag. So there are some parts that I do like and enjoy. There's others where it's like, the parts that I enjoy the most is going to be the detective part, the Batman. Batman finding out what's wrong with him. More importantly, like, what's the heck is going on? What is Talia's meaning of her warning? Because she says certain things to him, and Batman's like, what does she mean by that? What is she trying to imply? What is she warning me about? And I like seeing that with Batman, with him being a detective. He's investigating, trying to figure out, because he has this music box that keeps playing the certain like rhythm or beat, I guess you can say. And so Batman goes out, seeks help by certain individuals to figure out what the heck this is. More importantly, can this be related to what Talia's warning him about? And I like that aspect of this book. And it's really interesting to see Batman problem solving, becoming a detective. But the other hand, the parts that I don't like is going to be the whole other individuals that arrive at Gotham, which I won't talk about because I'll spoil it, but they are the villains so far. I say so far because this is volume 1. And that aspect of the book, I honestly don't really care. I try to like get into it, but I could not get into it. The whole ancient times, and when they go explain, like, for instance, what happened in the past with certain individuals, I honestly didn't care. I was not hooked. Even when I kept reading this whole entire book, I was like, please hook me in. But I didn't really care about the specific group that are trying to reclaim Gotham because they have whatever. I don't want to say too much, I'll spoil it. And that's where I have my feelings of this book, where some parts I really like, other parts I'm like, oh, I don't like. I really disliked certain parts. But the overall story itself, though, it's right in the middle. I can see where this is going, and I can see really a big story, you probably need like 2 to 3 chapters. But the question is is it good enough, or this book is good enough to hook me into where I want to continue reading? No, it never really hooked me into where I'm like, okay, I want to read volume 2. It's more of like, if volume 2 comes out tomorrow, if I get it for like 75% off, I'll get it. If not, there's that. And that's where I have my biggest problem with this book is, it's just, it's something is missing with the whole concept of these certain individuals. The whole story arc is just, it's missing something. It doesn't grab my attention for me. And I noticed that when I read other reviews of this book, some people say the same thing, where either they like this book or they don't like this book, similar to me. But for me, I honestly couldn't get really into it overall as a whole, because there's a whole other individuals or group that want to reclaim Gotham, as mentioned, and I just couldn't get into it. I was just like, okay, who cares about you? Keep going. But unfortunately, they are the villains, so you're going to have a lot of time spending with them. So it's more of like, I have to deal reading their story when I don't want to read their story. The paper quality is matte, but it's a bit of like a hybrid, because some of the pages have like a feel of like a gloss, a little bit of gloss. I don't know if that makes sense. So overall, it's like matte, but some of the art does pop more than usual. So it's like matte, but I believe like maybe a little bit hybrid. So there's that. The art, it's good. It's actually really good art. There's some pages where some of the art really does stand out, and it looks really, really, really good. So I'm really liking the art. Pacing. The pacing is about average. Some parts are above average, but for the most part, it's about average. And that's another problem with this book, is that some of the parts where it's really heavy on dialogue, it can feel like a chore. It just doesn't really pick up. It's just, okay, so much storytelling, so much character development going on right here. And unfortunately, when that happens, I'm not really invested or interested in the characters, so it feels like it's a drag. It's a chore to read. Do you need to have prior knowledge? Not really. I mean, the Commissioner Gordon does take place during The Joker by James Tynion, but you're perfectly fine. It's a story, it's a one-off type of thing. And with this book, you don't really need to have prior knowledge, but they do mention certain things that happen in other stories. They mention how Arkham has been blown up, so not really. I mean, you'll be perfectly fine, honestly. So overall, what do I give this book? Like I said, I'm in the middle. I like the whole Batman parts to it. The whole him being haunted is interesting. I want to see where that goes. But unfortunately, though, the other part, or the other story, the subplot regarding these other individuals want to reclaim Gotham, I didn't really care. And essentially, they are a big part of the story. So at the end of the day, what do I give it? Honestly, I give it a thumbs down, because I simply asked myself this one question. If Volume 2 came out tomorrow for 50% off, would I be interested in buying it? Honestly, no. Like, by the time I finished reading this book, I was like, okay, some cool parts. And that's it. That's all I can really say about it. So once again, what do I give Detective Comics Gotham Nocturne Overture hardcover, Volume 1? I give it a thumbs down. Again, it's not like a really bad book. It's right in the middle. But as a whole, for me, I'm leaning more towards the thumbs down aspect of it. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read this book? Do you plan on reading this book? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not only support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of Detective Comics Gotham Nocturne Overture, the hardcover, Volume 1, and on to the next one.